Well, I play Marissa Wiegler, who is an undercover CIA operative who's been in the field and now is basically has an office job. And she was involved with a bungled cloning operation in Berlin in the 90s, and she shut it down. And there, in shutting the operation down, she shut a lot of herself off. She's someone who's devoted her life to her work and hasn't had a family. And then with the reawakening of Hanna, who's the daughter figure, she's out to destroy her. I think, you know, it's one of those mummy dearest situations. So it's there's a lot of fairy tale aspects to the film that's been brought to Jo. So there is a Wicked Witch of the West quality to her, but then I think there's an extremis to her of a woman who doesn't have a child. And has devoted her life to her work. Jo's really taken that to extremes. Yeah, or does she even have a heart? I mean, there's a real coldness to the character, which was really great to play. I think that's it. I think you just said it. I think normally you get a lot of your performance off the interaction. And because I had so few scenes actually with Saoirse, I was always searching for her. And likewise with Eric, he was such he was like a nemesis in a way. And but yet we have so little screen time. It was really important in advance to talk. We didn't have a lot of rehearsal time, but to talk to Jo about the details of those relationships, because they had to be very strong and present in my mind. Well, obviously, I mean, I know what they both look like, but it was a lot to do with the landscape that Jo set up for me and for the other actors. I think. I mean, he's great that way. He's really big on atmospheres, which helped. Well, my first involvement. I mean, sometimes a project comes with the director first, and sometimes it was the script this time, and I'd read the first 30 pages, and it was so enigmatic and unusual, and I didn't know where I was, and I didn't know what was going to happen next, which is pretty rare. You know, a lot of films are made in quite a formulaic way. And then when I knew Joe Wright was coming on board, and I wanted to work with him for a long time, that sort of clinched it for me. And then the cherry on the cake really was the fact that Saoirse was going to play Hanna and Eric Bana came on board. So it was all of those things really wrapped into one. It's actually got a very strange, perverted, estranged family unit at the centre of it. You know, I mean, I do play a sort of a demonic mother figure in a lot of ways, and fighting over a child. So it's sort of like a strange. There's a Kramer versus Kramer aspect to it, but it's clearly not that. But I think, you know, because obviously there's a road movie aspect, and I think the heart of the film really, though, is the coming of age story. Well, they started off in Finland, where it was literally 30 degrees below zero. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but I mean the fact that she emerged without frostbite was incredible. And speaking to Jo, she didn't complain once. I mean, I would have been kicking and screaming, but Eric's the same way. I mean, he had to jump into this water. He literally had to break the ice and swim out of the water. And I thought, you are a legend. I mean, they both are. I mean, so they're amazing. There was no complaining on that set. So the fact that I had to run in heels, I felt like I couldn't really make a fuss over after what those two did. Well, I mean, obviously Saoirse had a lot of stunts. I had a few, but not nearly as many as she did. But it was always a relief when they came in like this and I could put the Ugg boots on. But it was one of the great things was, I mean, obviously I love Berlin as a city, but we were filming the last sequence of the film in this place called Spree Park, which is an abandoned amusement park in the east. And it was really sinister. It's all overgrown. And so a lot of that stuff wasn't even built. It was all there. It wasn't built by the production team. It was found, and so there was a lot of railway lines that we had to run along. But it was an amazing part of Berlin. I think it's the mixture of tones that Joe has put into it. He's got this strange, sinister obsession with the teeth. But yet there's a whole, but she's a wicked witch. But then the very modern obsession with, the tension between women giving everything to their job and then the desire to have children, that's in there, but then it's perverted and made extreme. So I think it was all of those things wrapped into one.